Okay, so here's 7 steps of how to escape survival mode and live life in creative mode. So first of all, what is survival mode? Survival mode is basically an idea that I came up with ever since coming to Bali after I realized that that was the way I was living in London, in survival mode. I was trying to survive constantly. And since coming to Bali, I've tapped into my creative mode and my creativity and finding my creative passions and putting less effort into things and getting more reward from them. I'm beginning to live life more meaningfully and effortlessly, whilst also doing the things that I love. So, survival mode, essentially, the idea comes from the natural human state. So, back in the primal times when we were cavemen, naturally they'll wake up, be stressed out because they need to put food on the plate for their family. So they'll go out to hunt food, risk their life, stress, put blood, sweat, and tears into finding that food, hunting it, and bringing it back for the family. And then they'll eat the food and do it all over again. And like, we don't need to live like this anymore. But people are still trapped within those instincts because of the way society has been built out. So, for example, now people wake up, they go to work to make a living so that they can provide for their family and sustain their life. And that's basically the same as what was simpler back in the day, is you just needed to provide food for your family. But now, obviously, there's so many other variables in life, Spotify subscriptions, Netflix subscriptions, blah, 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 the rest of it, buying toys for your kids, whatever it might be. But people have trapped themselves in this loop of having to go out and hunt for their money and to keep their living up, and it's putting you in a stressful state, and it's not a peaceful way to live. So the creative mode, on the other hand, for those of you that have played Minecraft, you'll know that in survival mode, you basically start with nothing, you have limited resources, and you get killed pretty quickly and you can die, basically, but in creative mode, you have all the resources available to you and you can build whatever you want. And the most important thing is that you can never die. And I think this is so important when thinking about creative mode, because creative mode to me is when you're living through life, creating things that you're passionate about and creating things that are helping humanity. Most importantly, you're helping the world by creating. Humanity only exists and is the top of the food chain species, because we used our brains to create tools that allowed us to hunt animals and jump to the top of the food chain. Naturally, a man can't fight a lion, but when we built a gun, a lion just can't battle with us. And then we eventually started building cities, building environments, ecosystems, systems that allow us to thrive as a community, and trains to allow for transport. It's infinite, the amount of things we've created. We've created so much, but essentially, to keep humanity going and to keep providing value in life, you have to create. And what I think is the highest purpose in life is actually creating another life, right? Reproducing. And that just goes to show how deep that word creation goes. And creation is essentially what we're here for. We're here to create new things and bring them into reality, whether that be a child or whether that be a new idea that helps people for a million years to come. So that is creation mode. And in terms of never dying, like it is in Minecraft, when you put out an idea and create an idea, your idea lives forever and you become embodied in that idea, and you essentially live on forever when you create. For example, like the famous philosophers, Aristotle, Socrates, their ideas still live on to this day, and they essentially created immortality for themselves because, yeah, they're gone in the physical form, but they still exist in the spiritual form and they're still able to connect with people. So, yeah, that's what it means to go from survival to creative mode. So let's talk about the 7 steps of how you can get out of survival mode, because you probably are in survival mode, even if you're not working a 9 to 5. If you're building a business and you're in that grinding mentality and everything in your life is just about that business and you can't stop thinking about it and you're not happy when you're not doing something that revolves around your business, then this video is for you, because that's exactly how I was. And since coming to Bali, these are the tips that I'm giving you to get out of this rut, get out of this survival mode, and turn on that creative mode. So let's get into it. First step, try new shit. Just try anything. I used to be that person that used to attach myself with so many labels. Like, I'm not the party guy. I didn't used to drink. I didn't used to, yeah, just do certain things that were a bit out there and they didn't align with my values. But I think honestly, it's good to try things. And I'm not saying go out there and become a drug addict. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm saying, like, in terms of sports, like, try new sports that you would have never associated yourself with. Like, go to a new class, meet the new types of people there that are going to be thinking in a different way to you. And just surrounding yourself in that type of environment will bring about new ideas and shift your personality and turn you into just a much cooler person. But aside from sports, like, go to that party that you were putting off from going because you want to stay inside and grind on your business, because that's exactly what I used to do. I know people are like that. Or you wanted to, work extra hours on your shift, whatever. Like, if your friend's throwing a party, pull up to it and have a good time. Experience that experience, see what it feels like. Go through the feeling of, like, getting fucked up and being hungover, because that's a new experience in itself. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of great ideas, funnily enough, came from when the day after, like, I got hung over here, because it was like, shit, I feel fucked, but I don't ever want to get like that again. And it kind of shifts you into a whole new space of thinking. And yeah, sometimes those days I come up with the best ideas. So yeah, partying, um, even going to museums, going to art exhibitions, like, just indulging in creative activities, pottery, making clothes, just things that, like, you wouldn't do in your day-to-day life because you became an adult and you don't like doing these so-called, like, childish things anymore. But you need to realize, like, bringing out our inner child is actually the best way that we can reconnect with ourselves as human beings, because as we become older and older, society has naturally just, like, sucked out all that fun energy from us and, like, gave us all this, like, corporate way of thinking. And a lot of people just think in this corporate way and they have this structured mind. You need to break that structure and start flowing freely again. You're probably not happy living life like that. And when you actually break out of that structure, you'll realize the beauty in the world, and you'll start seeing things as you saw things when you were a kid. When you see things when you're a kid, you're seeing them for the first time and you're amazed and everything looks amazing, and you're literally just tripping through life. Everything's like a trip and everything's just so vibrant and beautiful and stunning. And we lost that spark, and we lose that spark as we get older, but there is a way to get it back, and you can begin to enjoy things in life again if you follow this path. So the second way to get out of survival mode and tap into that creative mode is to begin viewing the world as art. Take everything as inspiration. And this is 100% something that I noticed when I came to Bali, because honestly, as soon as I set foot here, naturally the energy just overpowered me, because I actually found out that a lot of the original human beings originated from this part of Asia, East Asia, and also Africa. So there's definitely, like, a certain type of energy here. But just in terms of, you can see my back garden here, like, everything is thriving here, everything is growing. So I have a much bigger appreciation for nature. And if trees are growing like this and plants are thriving and they're just abundant with giving fruits and giving life, then I can only imagine what that's doing for my soul. And I can feel it. Like, I'm happy here. Like, I'm genuinely just happy, and I'm pumped with this positive energy day by day. So that allows me to just view everything as art. Like everything around me is creation. Things start from a seed. Like this tree, it started from a seed, and I've been seeing it grow day by day. And I know it's gonna become a big I think it's a palm tree type of thing one day. And like I can't wait for it. I love seeing things grow and just naturally being created by God and by the energy, that deep energy in the universe. But aside from like natural things, even man-made things can be appreciated, because all things that were man-made, an activity that I like to do when I see something like really inspiring and I'm taken aback by, I'm like, wow, that's cool. Like, how did they make that? Like, for example, there's uh, a massive statue of Vishnu right now, the Hindu god, in Bali. It's like the second or fourth biggest statue in the world, second biggest in Asia. And yeah, like when I see it and I see that it's made from stone, it's like, okay, yeah, this was a man-made construction and it's so detailed, but how was it made? And I reverse engineer the process in my head, and it's like, okay, it came from stone, and stone came from the earth. And even like when you think about an airplane, like, okay, an airplane is made of metals, okay, it's made of steel. Where's steel come from? Steel came from a cave, or it's a metal that originates from the earth. So everything that's being created in the world, there is a source for it. And when you tap into this way of thinking, it's going to allow you to visualize how you can create things easier. So if you have an idea about something you want to create, whether that be in reality, whether that be digitally, you can begin understanding the process of how people take things from literally just a small idea, whether that, you know, that be a rock that they chisel into something, and or whether that be a complete plane structure, and they understand the materials that need to go into making it, who they need to hire, the engineers they need to hire to create the electrical connections, whatever that might be. So that's essentially like the way of thinking you have to think if you want to be creative and you want to create your own ideas and bring them into reality and be an entrepreneur. Essentially, I hate to use the word because it's kind of cliche, but you're being an entrepreneur because you're living life on your own terms and creating things from your mind and bringing them into reality. Okay, number 3, to go from survival mode to creative mode. This one is 100% one that I fully believe in, because I really do this every day. Write down your thoughts at least once a day and have a conversation with yourself. So powerful, so powerful. I think 99% of problems like are very, very easy to solve, but we stress about it in our head and we go over and over them in our head. Like, we're thinking about, okay, how are we going to go from this step to that step? Like, you're thinking about maybe how you're going to use the money from your job to invest into your ideas in your business and begin growing that and phase out of it. And I think so many people get caught up in the ideas of it that they never take action. But the way you can get out of this is writing down your thoughts at least once a day. Sit down for at least like 20-30 minutes and just write. It doesn't even matter what you write. Sometimes, like, I wake up, I write down my to-do list. Sometimes, and yeah, schedule in a time. Either do it in the morning when you wake up or before bed when you go to sleep. But yeah, sometimes I'm writing a to-do list. Sometimes I'm writing down my thoughts. Sometimes I'm writing down like a thought that really resonated with me and changed my view on the world. Sometimes I'm writing down a reflection of my past. But ask yourself questions. Like, sometimes I'll literally write down, okay, how can I achieve this? How can I get to this next step? And then I write down an exact plan, and everything becomes clear to me. Sometimes you just have to take things out of your brain and put them onto paper for things to make sense. Like, you could be struggling with something and stressed out about something for so long, but trust me, everything is up here. Like, our brains are so powerful, and even everything I'm telling you in this video, I actually strongly believe that you already know this, but it's taken me to tell you, to remind you, and your brain to remind you guys that, okay, yeah, I knew this already, but it's time to remember it and begin to implement that into my life. And that's what you have to do. And a lot of people, like, they'd rather ask a friend or a family, or they'd even rather pay someone to fix their problem. They'd rather pay like a online mentor or something like that, or a coach to give them the answers. But the truth is, only you have the answers to creating that life that you want to create and get into that next step in life. So stop asking other people and just write it down. Ask yourself, have a conversation with yourself. It can even be talking out loud, but I'd recommend writing it down because it really allows you to see your thoughts on paper and actually have a conversation with yourself, because you're the best person that you can speak to, and you have to be comfortable with speaking to yourself. Cool. We're on the fourth point now. How to get out survival mode, tap into creative mode. This one, again, really important. And I think the number one actionable step, honestly, that you could be taking is documenting your life. Right now, it's the easiest way to build momentum by just posting cool shit of your life. Anyone can go viral, and you never know who's watching. We're in a beautiful time right now that I think people don't even realize, and they're not even grateful for the power of social media. A lot of people just use social media for scrolling, and they use it as a distraction, and they don't realize that they can actually become a creator on the platform and begin creating and carving out their own dream life by talking about the things that they're passionate about and attracting the right audience. The way the algorithm works is whatever you talk about, eventually the right people and the right audience will be attracted to your ideas. So as long as you stay consistent and you keep talking about the same things that you care about, I promise you everyone has their one thing that they're really interested in and they love to just talk about on camera. The way you know about that is the way you find out about that passion is from looking at your search history, first of all, your YouTube search history, and then your algorithm also. What does Instagram constantly show you? And when you're talking with friends and family, what's those things that you just can't stop talking about? If you share that with the world, I promise you, you'll attract the right audience, you'll build a following, and you will gain power, to be honest. You'll gain power because you'll have a tribe of people that believe in your message and follow your message. And that was a powerful thing like 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, because to get thousands of people, essentially, if you can build thousands of followers, you're getting thousands of people into a room virtually to see your content. Like, to get 1,000 people in a room in real life is very difficult, and the attention span of that moment is honestly like maybe a day or two if you hold an event or if you're performing on a stage. But then, like, where do those 1,000 people go? They get scattered again. But now, like, online, and now that everyone is online, there's these communities being built out, and you can really create whatever you want along the lines of your passion and really begin carving out this dream life for yourself. And if that's something that you're interested in and you want to turn that into a career, I'm actually starting up a newsletter. I'm going to be packing it with value. Probably sending out an email like a good few times a week, packing it with value on how you can monetize your passion. First of all, finding your passion, finding your creative passion, and beginning to live a more purposeful life. Obviously, tapping out of that survival mode into that creative mode, and then how you can monetize that passion in this day and age, because it's very possible using the power of the internet. So yeah, I'm gonna be going through exactly how you can do that. It's packed with value. Honestly, like, what I'm gonna be putting that into that email is something that could be monetized into $1,000 course. But I want to give it out for free, just to share my knowledge and show you guys how powerful this stuff is. So you can sign up for that, link in the bio. I'm going to create a little form for it. Go get that free value. Fifth point is to leave that grind in silence mentality. This is something that I see all over that internet. Like, stay down till you're up, hustle in silence. Like, just this like whole mentality of you need to do it alone, lone wolf. Nah, it's not the way. Like, naturally, humans we're meant to be in tribes, and we were meant to collaborate and help each other, and that's how we survived as a human race, because we collaborated and we brought our ideas together, and we survived and thrived and helped each other when the lions attacked the village, and we helped each other when the other village didn't have food and we had some left over. And you know, these ways of life, they still carry on to this day. And if you're isolating yourself and you're just hustling and grinding in the name of reaching your first 10k a month or whatever, I promise you, you're not happy right now, or you're going to reach a stage where you're not happy, and all of a sudden all the people around you have gone. And cool, it's okay to cut off people that are not like-minded and they're not adding value to your life, but it gets to a point where you're going to be very unhappy, and you're going to realize that you've put yourself in this hole of like this echo chamber where you were watching all these videos about grinding, and you were so sure you were going to be a millionaire, but actually the most valuable assets come from actually doing things in public and speaking about what you're doing. Connect with people and talk about what you're doing with them, and your ideas, and talk about your wildest ideas, and you'll be surprised how many people you connect with this way. Like talking about creative ideas and tapping into your creative state of mind, and just your projects that you're thinking of putting into reality, or that you're already taking action on in reality. That's what makes you a cool person, and that is what's going to make you connect with very cool people. And again, just like with social media, when you post, you never know who's watching. When you talk, you never know who's listening, and you never know what opportunities they might bring into your life, and it could be completely life-changing. But furthermore, that's going to take you out of that survival mentality and into that creative mentality, because when you begin speaking from a place of creation rather than survival, you're not talking about gossip and things that don't matter, because people like who live in survival mode, they use that as a distraction. Like people want to gossip about sports and who's gonna win the election, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who's what's gonna happen to P Diddy? What do you think? Is he gonna go to jail? Like, it doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. Focus on what's in your control and what's in your power, and that's another point in itself. But I'm not gonna add that to the 7 points. But honestly, once you begin creating your own reality and focusing on what matters the most, which is your life, you'll realize that you naturally attract people, because that energy that you're going to be operating out of is an energy that naturally just attracts people. People don't want to hear you talking about gossip and stuff. That just makes you like everyone else, and that's not cool. Anyway, step 6, say yes more. This kind of links into the try new shit chapter or step, but yeah, say yes more. Just say yes to a lot more things, even if they don't align with your character traits, whatever. I'd say just go out and have that experience. Like, get out more, go to places by yourself, events. If someone invites you out to an event, it's because they want you there, so go there. You never know who you're gonna meet. You never know what experience you might have there that sparks a new idea. Yeah, new experiences bring new ideas. New ideas bring new actions, and new actions will launch you into a new reality and completely change your life around. And honestly, in the span of 3 to 6 months, if you keep following these steps, you'll 100% be living fully in creative mode. And one, you'll be more happy, and two, you'll probably be surrounded by a shit ton of money, honestly, because it's naturally what gets attracted as you begin going down this path and creating stuff. Because when you create in life, you're creating value, and you're naturally just creating things that are valuable for other people in whatever form that might be. And you need to realize, when you put out value into the world and you put out energy into the world, energy is something that can't be destroyed nor created. It's just exchanged. So when you put out an energy that's helping someone, naturally you'll be helped back. And when you put out value, naturally you'll receive value back. That's just how the world works. So yeah, when you create something of value, um, a form of value is currency and money. So now, cool guys, it's literally a new day in Bali right now because my phone actually died while I was finishing off that recording, so I missed out on explaining what I was gonna say, step 7 and the outro. But let me just wrap it all up. So I was on step 6, say yes more, and I was just talking about exchange of value. So when you put out creation into the world and you're creating value for other humans, you'll get that value back, whether that be in the form of monetary value, whether that be in the form of praise from other human beings, connections, opportunities coming your way. The energy that you put out will be received back by the universe, by the world. It will be put back out to you. So yeah, that was step 6 of going from survival to creative mode. And the last point, the last tip, the last step, number 7, is to have that abundance mindset and seeing that everything happens for a reason and everything is an opportunity for you. And this is probably my number one quote in life and possibly the most important way of thinking in life, thinking that everything happens for a reason to you. And to be honest, this is an idea that I got from my girlfriend and a rule that she always lived by. And she always used to tell me it, and I was actually ignorant back in the day, and I used to argue against it, just probably for the sake of being argumentative, and just being a bit ignorant and stubborn. But honestly, the more I've grown into life and the more I've experienced, I've just realized that adopting this mindset, not only is it so powerful and such a great way to live by, it's also so true. Everything in your life is happening for a reason, and there's no such thing as a good or bad thing in life. And you got to stop viewing things as good or bad, because that allows your emotions to be taken like a roller coaster, and that allows you to just be thrown about in the waves of life. When the waves are crashing in life, you're going to be thrown about and you won't be able to swim, because being able to swim is being able to control your emotions. So when you stop viewing things as good or bad, you stop getting overly happy and unrealistic about things when good things happen, and you also stop getting likewise overly sad and overly just upset about things when they happen as well. Because when you adopt this mindset that everything happens for a reason, you realize that, okay, this has happened because it's setting me down a path, down a journey of life. And because of my abundance mindset and that I attract good things into my life all the time, because of this, I know that whatever happens, good or bad, it's setting me up for a good life, and it's setting me up to achieve my dream reality, because overall my thinking of my life is just positive in general. Let me give you an example. About 3 weeks ago, my phone was stolen here in Bali. Crazy, right? You probably think Bali's one of the safest countries. That's what I thought too until this happened. I was driving on the motorbike. I was on the back of the motorbike with my friend, and I just had to check the map for 30 seconds to see our next right turning. And before I knew it, someone had swooped past us, snatched the phone from my hand. They were on the one of the fastest bikes here, the Yamaha X Max. If you know, you know. They were completely off. We tried to chase them. They completely went off. And at first, like, don't get me wrong, my initial response was emotional. It was like sadness, anger, confusion, feeling lost, feeling, yeah, just a whole heap of emotions. But very quickly that subsided, and especially the day after, I just realized, like, okay, that happened. It's kind of out of my control at this point. I reported it to the police. That's all I can do. And like, I got to keep going, and I got to realize that God has put that in my way for a reason, and that has been put into my life for a reason, and it's meant to show me something. I don't know exactly what it's going to show me, but I just know that it's a part of my path, and it's helping me in my journey in some way, because I'm not viewing it as an inherently bad thing. Because what makes that bad? Yeah, my phone got stolen, but I have to view it as showing me something and happening for a reason. And reflecting on it, it did show me a few things. It allowed me to slow down, appreciate things outside of my phone in life. It also allowed me to focus more from working on my laptop, and I completed a lot more tasks that way and was sent down a certain path that way. And yeah, just in general, I think it came at the right time to happen for a reason. It wasn't the end of the world. I didn't get dragged off my motorbike. A lot of worse things could have happened, and it happened for a reason. And that's the best way to view life, because when you realize that everything happens for a reason and all events in your life are actually linked to bringing you through time, through that passage of time, and to bringing you to new locations and new experiences, that's when you realize that actually there's no right or wrong path. But as long as you take a path in the first place and you focus on it, you will thrive creatively and mentally, and you'll live a happier existence that way, from just not living in the what ifs. Oh, but what if this happens, then I can't do this. If I was thinking like, what if I could go find my phone and get it back, or um and then I'll be much happier or something. But the phone was, I literally had to find my iPhone on, and it was 11 hours away on another island, and I reported it to the police. Saw what they could have done with it. They didn't really help me, but it comes to a point where you just have to move on and like get on with your life and get on with your focuses and realize where it's most powerful to put your energy. But that's number 7. Um, Seeing that everything happens for a reason, and everything in life is an opportunity. With things being an opportunity, like everything is an opportunity for you to make yourself better. Every single experience you have. So that links back to the first point of trying new shit. It all links together. These are all similar things, but you need to realize that new experiences bring new ideas bring new actions, and those new actions will bring back a new reality for you and bring about just a completely different life for you. So those are my 7 points of how to leave survival mode and tap into your creative mode and live a much more freer, flowing, happier life. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a comment and let me know how you found it. I really like to hear from you guys, and like I said, check out my link in the bio. I'm going to be putting out a newsletter packed with value. So definitely sign up for that if this is your type of thing and you want to find your creative passion and figure out how you can actually monetize that and begin living a much more meaningful life than you're living now in that survival mode. Because I know a lot of you guys watching it are in that survival mode, and I really, really want to help. So the last thing I want to say as well is my book is out now, my ebook. I just wrote it a month ago. It's called Make the World Your Home Again. If you're interested in this lifestyle that I'm living in Bali right now and how exactly I got to this point financially, mentally, spiritually, and physically, that's the book for you. So check that out. But I'm going to be posting a lot more consistently. I really want to try and record a video every day because I have a lot of knowledge to spread and I really want to change some lives here. So lock in with me if you like my content. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.